Jeremy, and welcome back to Night God. This game just is good. I can't put it down. Like, it's just really that good. Hey, guys. Oh my god, I'm already starting. It's almost 12 o'clock. I'm gonna try to get in here and get a little bit more playing time in. The last we left off, it was the lawyer or the retired police officers, it looks like. And it's really leaning towards the lawyer because it seems like there's a pattern of going after abusers. So you open one eye. You find your studio calming. There's something special about living in a garret. Like yours is the last place before the sky starts. Get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 5. Alright. Okay, so I don't really need Herb. I don't really need Herb. I don't really need gas right now. Let's go. What's this one? I gotta get. Okay, there's that one. I'm trying to treat like an actual, like a cab would. This one is probably closer. Well, that's like a block over and a block down. This is like. Yeah, I think this is a little bit closer. But we're not getting hurt. He's just not a suspect at this point. So, the biker courier rides by you. His backpack, his backpack most likely. Blah 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 blah. Some this. A couple is getting into your taxi. A couple like you've seen so many times before. Attractive, a bit tipsy, drooping eyelids. He's already asleep. Must be about 20, maybe more. She's still smiling faintly. The demon has had a lasting effect on her. She's older, maybe 40, 45. Elisa, right next to the movie theater. Start driving. Pull away, leave the street, the neighborhood behind. The bachelor says nothing. When you downshift, you can hear the man's heavy snoring. He stares right at you. Beg your pardon, this may seem odd, but what do we look like? I mean, he and I. What do we look like? A couple. Thank you. She pauses. Happened upon two friends who were making fun of us tonight. We could be mother and son. It's stupid. She hesitates and forget it. Let's let it drop. Sorry to have bothered you with that. No need to apologize. Thank you, that's very kind of you. I don't think I've ever met a taxi driver who was so understanding before. You drive in silence. Avenues go by one after another. Car appears, disappears. Everyone is asleep at this time. Everyone but you and your passenger, who is still staring at the back of your neck. She is beautiful, really beautiful, just your type. The young man next to her, sleek, slender, and sleepy features. They go well together. A few minutes later, you reach their destination. Pull up to the sidewalk. Passenger plunges her hand into her bag and stops. What if... She shakes her head. No, forget it. She pays the fare, and as she is putting her wallet back in her bag, she hands you a bill. A 100-euro bill. You mind using this money to take Yves to a hotel? I don't have the will to do it myself. I need to put an end to this. You deserve someone else. Her proposition leaves you speechless for a while. I'm serious. Are you sure? No, I mean, I know this is right, but you should talk to him. We'll just say, she takes the bill. I'll say he loves me just the way I am, that he doesn't want to be with anyone else. say the same thing he says every time I try to talk about my feelings. Bill's lying between the seats. Is it the first time? Please help me decide. I'll take the money. Sit just for a second, then grab the money. Next few minutes are not your best. She gets out without making a noise. Driving towards the hotel near the outer belt. You're waking your passenger up. Explain to him that she left. He's going to have to do without her from now on. That there are other fish in the sea. Shoveling lies. Gathering tears. You're laying the young man on a bed that looks like any other, in a room like any other. You go back down the stairs with a bad feeling in your gut. You see a trash can next to your cab. You hesitate. You slide into your taxi. There's a strange glow in the rearview mirror. Neon lights from the hotel. Alert aids fluffers. It occasionally goes out. Strange night to have morals. You got a $100 tip. Yeah. Okay. So I made all 100% of that. Okay. Let's see here. See this one. So I'm close to. No, hold on. Let's see. Make sure there isn't anybody of interest that I need to pick up. No, nobody of interest, which is weird. But I really. This one's still closer, I think. Oh, yeah, this one's still closer, I think. Let's go this way. This is. I don't even know what that smiley face thing is. I will probably get gas here shortly. Hey, friend. Okay. You pull over to the side of the road and wait for your passenger. A regular you haven't seen for a while, Myrtle. She appears from the side street, toting an enormous shopping bag, and climbs into the cab. Well, hello there. I wasn't sure you'd receive my message. Her voice is cracked and raspy like a broken phonograph. You know all about her sad life story, about her failed romances, her scratch card addiction, and her 2 incarcerations to date. You're lucky you've been given a helping hand. She hadn't. Are you going to get going or what? Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Where to? The shelter in Monterey. Thanks. You turn the key in the ignition, the motor runs. Damn, it feels good to be warm. And, speaking of being warm, things are kind of tough right now, money-wise, if you know what I mean. Merle, you know it's always free for you. Raises a hand and puffs out her chest. No way, forget it. I'm a pastor just like any other. Her hoarse, raspy voice is like sandpaper over stone. Let's make a deal instead, okay? An agreement, that is. I'm listening. I'll tell you a riddle, and you figure the solution. I'll pay the fare. Sounds good? You nod, yes. Fine. Don't worry, I'm gonna give you an easy one this time. I'm not, but you can't, I'm nothing, but you can create me. You can't see me, and I'm all around. What am I? She flashes a proud smile. Like I said, it's an easy one. I'll give you a minute or two. She looks out the window. You turn your thoughts to the riddle, relishing the silence. You'd be a rare commodity these days. I'm nothing, but you can create me. You can't see me, yet I'm all around. Is it silence? No, that can't be right. Silence is something. How about an absence, an emptiness, a space? Cast a glance at the rearview mirror. Your pastor is eyeing you closely. So what do you say? Salami. She lost for words. You just say salami. Yeah, it's the first thing that popped in my head. Must be hungry then. It's the same with me. Food on the brain whenever I'm hungry is awful. But that's not the answer, not even close. It's emptiness. The right answer is emptiness. We can create it, can't see it. It's all around us. Up there in the sky, you know, in outer space. You raise your eyebrows. Oh, you see that? I mean, I'm too dumb to know that Earth revolves around the sun, and that all the stuff is suspended out there in emptiness. Quiet for a moment, not sure whether she's serious or joking. It's hard to tell the tone of her voice. Anyhow, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't make that one up. This guy who volunteers at shelter told me it. The guy's a real brain, talks about a brain. Talk about a brain, an astro something or another. And not an astrologer, right? A real professional. And he helps out at the shelter? Yep, decent guy. Suddenly her face clouds over, as if she caught herself lying. Anyway, we're almost there. On a sudden mood swing, you wonder. You better pull over here. Don't like getting out of the taxi in front of them all. Sure, man, whatever you say. Hey, don't get me wrong, handsome. It's not you, big guy. It's just that people ask questions after. They spread rumors like I'm blowing you for free in cab rides. I don't like being taken for a whore. It gives the other guys the ideas. Pull over as soon as you spot an available space, about half a block away from the shelter. You're a sweetheart, handsome. She reaches for the car door. A faint smile flickers across her face. You didn't guess right, so I'm out of here. Always good to see you, handsome. She gives you a parting look. Salami my foot. Merle and her shopping bag exits the cab. The slam of the car door rings in the cold night air. You sit there a while longer before pulling out and turning around. You don't want to drive past the shelter. It's back at the night shift. That's fine. I need to get some gas. Unless I have enough. Where's Santa Claus? I gots to get Santa. Unless there's somebody out here I really need to get. I'm getting Santa. I'm getting Santa Claus. Two women cross the street in front of your cab. They're laughing so loudly you can't help but smile to yourself. Chum Cleese, I think. Yeah, except I'm gonna have to definitely get gas out of this. Passenger smells like beer. Santa! Why? No, it's even worse. It's like every single fiber of his Santa suit has been soaking in a keg. Oh no, Santa! Come on, dash away! Oh no! His breath is 96% brandy. Your eyes are starting to sting. Damn, Santa! I parked somewhere near Chaps Elise on shits. Oh, the name of the street is. His head is spinning and he does his best to hang onto the door. Passe. It'll come back to me. Go ahead, drive. You start driving and silently wonder how to ask your passenger if he's had enough money to cover the fare. Not as bad as your passenger. He's mumbling to himself, but you can't quite make out what he's saying. Christmas is over, so why is he still dressed up? You have a nice evening, Santa. Oh, fabulous! A smile spreads across his face. And I really needed it. He lowers his voice. He's confiding in you. After working my ass off all year long, I like to hit my favorite pubs. I get monumentally wasted. It guffaws. Here, in Paris, there's a bunch of bistros perfect for just such an occasion. No one talks to you, and they have white wine so dry it eats away at the inside of your mouth. And so many different types of brandy. Pear brandy, cognac. Closes his eyes in delight. And sometimes order just one eeny weeny beer. To cleanse the palate. He's almost whispering. Okay, it's usually not one of them fancy microbrews there. He jumps. Oops! But don't tell anyone, okay? Just imagine if people found out Santa Claus thought the beer here tasted like piss. He laughs a sparkling laugh. When he stops, it just throw out commentally. Anyway, you can't say anything anymore. Honestly, all the trouble I go to, people should just leave me the fuck alone. Damn, Santa! All those fair weather activists, they still want their little snot-nosed miracles to get the latest stupid toy. Oh, hey, speaking of snot-nosed kids, what is it with the manure pile of new generation? 50 years back, you could give a kid a book and he'd go on about his whole life, all starry-eyed. But today, little whiners, what an eyesore. Fucking hell. Damn, Santa. They want to have it all, but they don't like anything. They all have GSMs when they're 8. Those things cost a whole month's wages. How can you possibly make them happy after that? How? He's staring at you, waiting for you to answer. No idea. Don't answer. He waits 5 seconds or so, then. That's what I thought. Even adults don't know anymore. So they shower kids with enough plastic presents to cover the entire polar ice cap. I mean, have you seen the state of the ice cap these days? Have you, huh? Because there's not much of it left. Pauses. Now, I can't say it's all bad. I don't have many polar bears coming into my yard. Damn nasty beast, vicious, mean. I'm not sad to be rid of them. He heaves a long sigh through his beard. Before things were different. Tears from the corner of his eyes. Shit, I can't talk about the past without crying like a little girl. He throws you a sideways glance. No need to stare! You don't even have time to react as he starts back into his rant. I remember you, you know. To tell the truth, I remember everyone. Every single person. You were an angry one. So terribly angry. Your letters, your handwriting. Holy fuck, were they hell to decipher. Don't worry though, the elves handle all that for me. You could hear a hint of disgust in his voice when he brought up the elves. Otherwise, I wouldn't have time to do nothing. Yeah, he was furious. It's like someone punched you in the stomach. Your brother was giving you hell. Someone wrenching at your gut. Man, he suddenly thinks of something to stop talking. His gaze wanders outside. Yeah, anyway, let's talk about something else. How did you know all that? Still don't get who I am? You stare at him in the rearview mirror. Look, kid, I'm not gonna spell it out for you. And something tells me you'd rather avoid the subject. A little something called jail. Ooh, another punch in the stomach. There's your Christmas present. We're not gonna talk about it. He smiles, opening his eyes wide. Wait, I think we're almost there. Slow it down a bit, kid. He searches outside for her. Glues his face to the window. Shouldn't be hard to spot. There's a sleigh and a couple of half-dozen reindeer. He heaves a funny sigh. I'm sure it's like in an alleyway somewhere. Oh, right over there. Turn right. You obey and go up the street you were a few seconds before. A few mirrors down, your passenger stifles a yelp. Oh shit, it was right there. Drive around the block. Turn again and back, your passenger's mumbling. I'm gonna have to get one of those thingamajigs, GPSs. Help me find my sleigh more easily. You eventually pull over to the alley, no light, a few empty office buildings, and some trash cans that haven't been emptied for days. Kid, sorry about before. I didn't mean, to bring up any sore points. He pays for his fare. Watch your back, kid. He gets out and slams the door. He slips into the wet sidewalk, grabs onto a street lamp, with a heavy and awkward step, clumps along the alley. You sit for a moment watching him. And then anyway, he starts rummaging through a pile of boxes, pushes a trash can on wheels aside, and disappears. A few minutes go by and nothing. Turn the key and start driving again. You open the window for a second, hoping to get rid of the alcohol fumes. Sometimes they'll stick around for a while. Alright, come on. Zoom out. Zoom out. I'm not really getting any... I'm definitely in need of gas. I need to get gas. And once it gets to half a tank, I kind of want to Get some gas here. Pull over and stop at a gas station. Nice on site. Wear some lights to irritate your eyes, and the smell of pee-pee is wafting up from the space between the pumps. Self-service, you know, the bar, the mini bar over there, you know, some pea peppers, let's go in here. Mini mart. There's a smell coming off the guy running the shop at the station. Hot dogs? Yeah. You read the papers? You know what they're talking about. Just not been comment. Casually brought up about the serial killer. The guy behind the counter seems like he's interested in the case. Alright, new clue. All that. Alright, good night, I guess. God, $54? Let's leave. Alright, I do have time for a little bit more. Nobody of importance, but I do have this one here. There's some more roads out. Does this map get bigger? You slow down. Oh shit. I feel like you're on the brink of remembering something. Like a word and one on the tip of your tongue. But which memory? Which word? Feel something moist moving up your thigh. Raise your head and look into the rearview mirror. He is there. So, butthead. Happy to see me again? There's a row of pearly whites. 2 lights. Lord, I won't be here long. Wonder why I'm not in the driver's seat? You hear a knuckle crack, but neither of you budged. Frankly, it would just be easy for everyone. Another knuckle crack. Far behind the wheel and you were, in the back of my mind, of my conscience. A whole handful of knuckles crack, shoulders quake. But no, that's not how it works. What do you want? Me? Nothing. You want to get out of that awful deal you made with that bitch in the Atlantic Hop. He makes a whistling with his teeth. You remember the night when the judge, he rolls his eyes. What a stupid name. You remember the night I'm talking about? You're not slowly. Say it. Say you remember, it's important. Or remember, when the killer attacked you, you saw his hand. He was wearing gloves. Yes, he was wearing gloves, rubber gloves, with talcum powder on them. I know what you told that bitch. I was there, remember? I said he was wearing gloves. I'm talking about his gloves. I'm talking about his hand. His hand. The rubber was torn and you saw something. He stares at you. God damn it, out with it, remember. It's not hard. His voice sounds compressed, compact, smushed. Last syllable rings in your ear with a scream. You remember the gloved hand. The hall light shining. Wrinkles on his skin. You jump as the car flies right next to the taxi and honks. He'd fallen asleep. After sitting still for a second, you start the car. Imagine that wrinkled hand. Imagine that wrinkled hand haunts you. Okay, well. Alright. Well. Oh, this person. Can I get there? Oh boy, I hope I can. It's one of the people I have to pick up. I think that's the old, older cop. I haven't rode with him yet. Hospital St. Louis, please. Accept. Next passenger is your suspect, the retired policeman. Judging by his looks, you can have easily guessed. Hopital St. Louis, please. Nod your head and start the engine. He yawns. Sorry, I didn't sleep a wink. Work? No, not at all. Some nights, just can't sleep. It's not really insomnia. It's like I'm waiting for someone to come home. Like I had a son or a daughter telling me, I swear, Dad, I'll be home by midnight. At 3 a.m., they're still not home. He looks out the window. Dawn has not yet broken over Paris. Clears his throat. I think it comes from the mother of a murder victim on one of my old cases. Investigation from a few years ago. Pauses. Your taxi purrs like a cat after a good meal. I ran into her on the steps of the courthouse just before the trial, and she told me. Closes his eyes and concentrates. The hardest part is hearing a noise in the hallway and knowing it can't be her coming home. The hardest part is knowing she'll never come home again. He slowly sighs. They dispatched me to a parking lot where the body of a young woman was found. She'd been raped and her throat was slit. It was the work of a monster, a wild beast. He raised his hand like he wants to interrupt himself. I always think that every man has it in him, you know. It's in our instincts, carved into our genes. She was 19 years old. You can hear the anger in his voice. 19. More anger. Just a kid. He gets back to his story. There was blood on the pavement, a little river of blood. The young woman was propped up on a post, her t-shirt pulled over her face. The son of a bitch didn't even have the balls to look her in the eye. Anger continues to make his voice spark from time to time. He'd gone through her bag looking for spare change. All he found was some makeup and old check stubs. We found his fingerprints on the stubs and used his thumb to fan through their expenses. At the time, I remember thinking what a shame it was to have bought all that stuff only to die right after. But I know it was just my mind's way of keeping busy, to avoid looking death in the face. When you're a cop, as you get older, you learn to look everyone in the eye. It makes them more human, whether they're alive or dead, victims or criminals. He stops. Yeah, much later. We just started working with the DNA. We were still on a shaky ground. We made mistakes. 5 victims in all. That was when I had to learn to look people in the eye. The victims, I couldn't let them turn into numbers, evidence. It seemed crucial to inform the victims' parents of our successes and our mistakes. And it was crucial to reduce the monster that did it to what he was, an abused kid, forgotten and destroyed by the system. He got a life sentence, good for him, but the system failed us, failed the victims. When it comes to crime, there's no winner. You can see his hand shaking, he sees you looking. These old stories still get to me years later. There's a long pause, your passenger seems out of breath. He sits up, squares his shoulders, and changes positions. You're coming up to the hospital. The system, we don't control it, it controls us, no more, no less. It decides whether we're born here or there. His fingers reach toward the skyline. It makes us grow up and teaches us that women are fragile objects and men are violent animals. And up to the moment that the system kills us, we try to break its rules. Park the taxi, passenger doesn't budge. Do you cry sometimes? Silence. It looks you in the eye. Nice. Looks off to the distance. Good. Good. I didn't learn how until it was too late. But it's natural. It's designed to evolve, to change, only when Mother Nature makes sense. Smiles briefly. Without saying another word, the old cop pays and gets out of the car. You watch him until he disappears into the hotel. You notice a newspaper in the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind. Or the one before. You grab and put it away. Could come in handy. Okay. And it's time for bed. Right? I'm not picking up Herb. Yeah, okay. Okay. Ooh, my balance is low, I think. Take a few minutes to update your board for new clues. Steps in the hallway. Stop in front of your door. then move away. Crack your knuckles to get to work. Oh boy. Probably never get those, right? Yeah, these are older people. Now it's starting to look more and more like him. A lot like Silene, but he's got a few too. I think it's between these two, but we're gonna have to start doing some cab driving. We're gonna have to we're only down to $80. We're really gonna have to start making some money. Heavy hand, you wipe away your tired face. You lie down on the open sofa. Events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, the faces, the problems. So I'm still leading towards the old man. We're going to go ahead and play another night. You open one eye. You sleep badly. Sometimes you're so tired you can't seem to get any rest. You'd like to understand how that's even possible. Fragments of the dream are still lingering. Twin sisters were hitting on you at the bar, but every time you mentioned your work, someone dropped a glass. They eventually got fed up and left. You get up quickly to forget all that. 2 minutes later, you're outside of the studio. Night 6. We're going to play night 6 here. Anybody of importance to pick up? I'm not picking up Herb. I'm not doing it. Herb is not a suspect. I'm not wasting my time with that. There's no other real suspects. We'll go to this one. Make some. Oh, you slow down. God, here he is again. You smell of cigarettes creeping around you. It turns into still cigarette smell. Then smell of freshly stricken match. You dare to glance behind you. He is there. So, son of a bitch. Want to see me again? He reveals when Rose apparently realizes too late. No worries, I won't be here long. Every once in a while, Pickers does on the night Dad died. You remember? Your mouth is burning like you have holes in your tongue. I remember. All that hate you had built up inside, it was incredible. The shape in the back seat appears to settle in. Plus, all that hate, it was aimed at me. You threw it all in my hands. I wanted you dead. I wanted to poke your eyes out. You see his teeth flash in the rearview mirror. He only had eyes for Mom and everybody else. You could tell they weren't doing well. They didn't get it. Stop. He chuckles. You're right. Like I'm going to stop. Feel a shitty pain in your arm. Every time neighbors, friends came to the doors to offer their condolences, they said they were sorry, that he was too young. You wanted to scream at them, tell them they didn't understand anything, but you kept your mouth shut, didn't you? Stop. Your pulse is beating your temples. He pauses. That's exactly how you should have reacted. Shame, you're 15 years too late. He, almost whispering now, you're always the weaker of us two. He remains silent for a moment. You see, our brother, he was the devil incarnate. He always practiced what he preached. If you were him, you'd already have stopped the killing with your balls alone. But no, you prefer to make a deal with the police, with every bastard in the city of Paris. Silence chilling. You're gonna die alone, man. As I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna hang around. A shadow moves in front of the cab. By the time you realize it was just a car, you're alone in the cab. Close your eyes, hoping your migraine will subside. You feel exhausted. You sit a few minutes and start driving again. The purr of the motor is strangely warm and comforting. It's getting worse. And they're all gone. And now he's moved. Now I'm picking up Herb. Okay, let's go. Closest here. I think he's a little bit closer. Let's get him. Not trying to, I'm trying to pick up as many passengers as I can. Oh, see, Alex. I need a cab, quick. You pull up in front of the American Embassy. You can't recall ever picking up a customer here. They probably have a fleet of their own, or a contact with a private company. The door opens. You take an immediate liking to the guy who gets in. You find it somehow reassuring, like a lost tourist. He babbles something in English. You have to listen hard to make out the address. Sorry, I'm just back in Paris. I forgot my manners. Flash you a sparkling smile. His voice is tingled with a slight American accent. Turn the key to the ignition. Thanks. What's your name, pal? You're surprised to hear him use the familiar "to" before him straight off the bat. Nice to meet you, Hussein. He stares at you intently for a moment. My name is... He nods slowly as if disheartened. If I reveal my name, I'll be left with no other choice. I'll have to kill you. He pauses, way too long to be joking. His face darkens. It's a different man on the seat behind you. And then his face creases into a grin. Hey, amigo, I'm joking. I work for the CIA, that's all. I guess you really get around. You can say that again. Let me tell you, amigo, I'm always off traveling. I love traveling, so much for reducing my carbon footprint. He bursts into laughter. No wonder I'm a spy, eh, amigo? Silence hangs in the air. Your pastor seems to be formulating his thoughts. You married, amigo? You shake your head no. Got a girlfriend? Another negative nod. That's too bad. A good-looking guy like you two all alone? What a waste. Gazes absently out the window. Americans are like that, laid back yet distant. Maybe it's the booze, amigo, but I can't get this woman out of my head tonight. Man, what a woman. I'm not going to tell you where she's from. You'll just ask a ton of questions. And if you ask questions, I'm going to have to lie to you, pal. And all with you, I don't want to lie. You look like you're a chick type. I love that French expression. Chick type, a good guy. A far-off look comes over his face. Well, let him be. Clears his throat, then falls into a long silence as if wondering where to begin. All started in this place in Africa. Between you and me, pal, I really like Africa. People there are more alive, serious. You just need to spend a couple of weeks there. No more than that, you'll go nuts. Clench your teeth and remain perfectly still. You were working with the minister there. We were working with the minister there. Not a chick type like you. A traitor. A real son of a bitch. Stare blankly into space, wondering perhaps if he's divulging some big secret. Then continue the story. I know the bitterness has crept into his voice. Anyhow, the guy was getting difficult. We had two choices. Either convince him to see things our way, or sabotage his car. That's what makes working in Africa so easy. The cars, I mean. Every continent has its own little quirk, a way of getting things done without any trouble. In Africa, it's the cars. So I contacted the minister's family and met his wife. She was so beautiful, man. It was such a beauty. Her voice is slowed, like a worn-out LP. There was a fierceness in her eyes. You know what I mean? An animal spirit. A lopsided grin spreads over his drunken face. She said she didn't like the Americans, preferred the French with the straightforward ways. She made me laugh. When someone dies in Africa, there are always a Frenchman in the picture. Either supplied the bullet, the gun, or the guy who got shot. He runs his fingers along the seams of his jeans. The material is heavy, almost coarse. She was so beautiful. He's gone off to some faraway time and place. You pull up to the address he'd given you, a bar that keeps late night hours. You make out snatches of animated conversation behind the lowered rolling shutter. Say nothing. All at once, he snapped out of his phone. The bar, amigo, is run by Russians. Dissidents from the Soviet era. The boss spent 10 years in the Gulag. Can you imagine? The Russians, those guys really knew how to deal with prisoners. That's where I would have sent that traitor Snowden. And now, it's the Russians who are protecting him. Breaks off and raps at the window. Reaches into his pocket and hands you a tip. You hesitate a moment, then accept the crumpled note. He exits the cab and he offers his parting words. Not to worry about what I told you tonight, okay? His words hang ominously in the air. Not a word to anyone about this died. He climbs out of the cab, howling with laughter. You sit there for a moment, feeling pretty dumb. You start the cab up. 22-cent tip. Fuck you. Alright, so first off, anyone up? Nope. Nobody? Nope. Let's go. Let's get this one. I don't think it's the closest one, but there's a taste in your mouth. Iron, blood, 2 fingers on your lips let you know everything is fine. Okay, accept that. Let's go. 2 women get into the cab and give you their address. Say nothing as they start the car. A fair scent of alcohol hangs in the air. They've been drinking. After a moment of silence, the younger of the 2 breaks the silence. So, what do you think? About him? Well, else, of course, him. Not the bar. Well, not sure. Strange sound escapes her. She sighs. Seems pretty dumb. How so? You know, dumb as a doornail, all but staring at himself in the mirror over the bar when he went to get drinks. But does that matter? No, not really. He's got a good body, good looking, lots of energy. He's got a sort of an animal vibe. I like that. A little like a panther. I really like that style. You like that style? Passengers exchange a look. The older of the 2 gives her friend a smile. You know exactly what I mean. They reach for each other's hand in the back seat of the car. The gesture is full of tenderness. A moment of silence. The older woman clears her throat. What about you? What did you think of him? The young woman gives her a minute to think. I don't know. He was heavy, too sure of himself, and he spends too much time at the gym. Did you get that bit about? Yeah, please. That innuendo about sexual performance? A short mocking laugh escapes her. He was pretty heavy-handed with all the expertise on yoga and orgasms. True, though. Strong pelvic floor muscles can hurt. Anyhow, he was all peachy. He should write a book, The Perfect Gift for Your Ex-Husband. They bust out laughing. Laughter dies down. The younger of the 2 resumes talking in a more serious tone. Anyhow, like I was saying, she looks at her friend intently. Is it really that important? I mean, we're looking for a donor. Not a father, not a lover, not a guardian or a godfather. Nothing but a donor. Yeah, just a donor. She casts a glance in your direction, cautious of all of a sudden they are alone in the cab. She goes on lowering her voice. Yes, but still, if it had been a date, I think I would have been out there in 5 minutes flat. I do yoga. I meditate 6 hours a day. I went to Tibet to learn the ancient art of, and serfdom did exist in Tibet before the 1950s. Checked on Wikipedia. I thought Buddhists were supposed to be curious and open-minded. He was like some old conservative dude in the body of a young Brad Pitt. They pause again. But like you were saying, does that really matter? Her friend nods. The 2 young women are lost in their respective thoughts. You know, I'm not against that kind of stuff or anything. It's up to him. If he wants to be a drag with all that yoga and meditation bullshit, I don't have a problem with that. She gives her girlfriend a reassuring look. Anyhow, there's no way any of that is going to be passed on to our daughter. Or son. Her friend flashes her a big smile. It's going to be a girl, I can feel it. And yoga, it's not genetic. We'll have to ask Dr. Vidal. Yes, I bet he'd really love that. He'll think we're messing with him. He said we could ask him anything. He's going to take us for a couple of idiots. Besides, it's impossible. Pompousness cannot be passed on to the children. The woman doesn't seem convinced that Meg's an exaggerated pout. So you're saying an ear for you is a guess that's passed on, but pretentiousness isn't? Exactly. Okay, so if you don't want to believe me, she leans towards you all of a sudden. Sorry to bother you, but did you hear what we were talking about? Some of it. I didn't feel embarrassed or anything. We were talking out loud after all. Her friend eventually let you come on, leave him alone. I was just asking. Well, right. So, my wife and I are meeting potential donors in order to conceive a baby. Partner rolls her eyes. And we're wondering if you thought pretentiousness could be passed on to children, genetically. You give her a look in the rearview mirror and take a moment to answer the questions is so utterly absurd. Leave him alone, Emily. He's a taxi driver, not a genetic. Don't get all worked up about it. I'm just asking him again. No, it's impossible. The passenger flops back onto the car seat. The answer is no, is it? You're no fun. Seriously, we should have taken another cab. Driver's by genetics expert. She burst out laughing. The younger passenger leans forward towards you. Sorry. My partner doesn't mean anything by all that. We've had a bit of drink, and it's the first time for us tonight. We're meeting donors. You pull up to the client's address and cut the engine. Be understanding. No problem. The passenger seemed relieved. I'm a cab driver and I'm used to all kinds of funny stuff. I can imagine. Have you been driving a cab for long? You avoid her eye. Yeah, you can say that. The passenger pays for the ride. She lets out a sudden guffaw and can't help adding. Anyhow, thanks for answering. Come on, Emily, that's enough. And her friends tug on her arm. Emily starts mumbling herself. I really think we should ask the doctor, just in case we need a second opinion. Wait until the two women have entered the building, then start the car. I got a good tip on that one. Alright. Alright, any people of interest? Look at these people like following me all over town. Who am I closest to here? I'm close to... Oh, it's this dude. Oh, I'm picking this guy up and busting his balls. This punk ass. I hope he's got a broken heart. Nothing. Just wants to ride. Okay. Get in the car, bitch. Passenger, get into your car taxi. Your taxi is drunk. He all but trips as he's getting into the back seat, leaving a piece of his jacket stuck in the door, and he slams it 10 times too hard. The whole street must have heard it. He tries to keep his calm, and he gives you his address. You start driving, but keep an eye on him. You never know. His head lolls, his eyes roll. Rummaging through his pockets looking for his phone. In vain. Hey, buddy, tell me, any chance you've seen my phone? No. Looks around. What an idiot. I lost it earlier. Not here, at the bar. Starts mumbling. Or somewhere. The eyes start to look like slits. Or at the bar. He's silent for a minute, trying to remember something. When he starts speaking again, he moans. She's gonna kill me. You turn a corner and he slides towards the door, hitting the window hard. Oh, fuck, that hurt. Seriously, man. You okay? Yeah. Oh, see. My wife. She told me not to come home too late. Made me swear. Crossed my heart the whole 9 yards. She just had a baby. He corrects himself. We just had a baby. But you know, she's the one who carried it. We didn't find it in the street or anything. He smirks as he imagines that scenario. It's cute as a little baby, but I'm so done spending all my nights wiping its ass. So when my colleagues invited me out, he hiccups. Well, I mean, I said, okay, like I went with them, right? He shakes his head, disgusted. You gotta help me. I have to prepare an alibi. An alibi? He nods, sure of himself. Yeah, an alibi. The explanation of where I was tonight and what I did. So she doesn't beat the shit out of me. Pauses. Dude, I'm serious. You gotta help me. Do I really care? Do I really care? Fuck it. Let's do it. Very well. Seriously? He bursts out laughing and attempts to clap his hands together but misses. Holy shit, awesome. Okay, first we need to start with... Yeah, with... He blinks out of his eyes closed. Oh, I was asleep. There he struggles to open his eyes. Alibi. Everything alright? Yep, the alibi. We gotta start by answering the main question in the case. He chuckles. I sound like a cop. He shakes his head. The main question in the case is, why didn't I call my wife? And then when we need to begin. What about a work emergency? I work in the movie business for a production company. She'd never buy it. Once again, his eyes start to close. His eyelids look like they weigh a ton. His voice sounds perfectly. 5 years of higher education, a 250-page thesis of a Soviet film director. And now I take care of filming permits for Hollywood mega blockbusters. There are no work emergencies. Nothing I do matters. He pauses. He appears to have fallen asleep, but asks, why didn't I call my wife? Didn't have her phone? Yeah, but I lost it after Pastor opens his eyes and squeals like a child. That's it! That's it! She doesn't have to know I lost it after putting back a few. You, my friend, are a genius. He claps his hands together. Okay, right. How did I lose my phone? Stolen. He looks at you for a second and claps his hands together. Yeah, I got my phone stolen. Like, I left it on the table at lunch and bam, gone. Already happened to her. She can't get on my case about it. He chuckles. Okay, we're good on the phone. But I still need to explain why I didn't call. I mean, she knows I know her number. I'm not sleeping, I swear I'm thinking. He opens his mouth, a little burp escapes. Gotta explain why I went out with my colleague and couldn't call her. He opens his eyes and suddenly recognizes the street. Oh fuck, we're almost there. Shit, quick, quick. Oh, I know. Something happened to me at the bar. That way, she'll get that it wasn't my fault, right? That I had no choice. Oh shit, I've got it. He glows, drooling a bit. I ran into someone I knew in the bar and we had a few drinks. It was crazy, dear, just crazy. But who? He immediately convinced. Perfect, great, I know exactly who to choose. Damien. He shakes his head quickly. Oh no, Damien works in marketing. I'm Daniel! An old college friend, haven't seen him in years. I think he became a dentomologist? Like the Tick, Spider-Man, Ant-Man. Yeah, that's it. Entomologist. Yeah, I'll tell her that I ran to Daniel, and that we spent the evening just talking, and he's really good friends and all. She'll be down with that. She's always telling me my friends are luscious, but Daniel, he's the real thing. He's trying to save endangered species. My wife will totally get into that. Okay, so we're good. I have my excuse for the phone. I have my excuse for being busy all weekend. Now I just need an excuse to stay out so late. That's not enough? No, dude, not at all. I need something more solid, you know? Something that pulls the line together, man. The line to your wife is like a magic trick. You can't just saw the lady in half. You have to turn the box around, too. I mean, the lady got to thinking it's funny, like, LOL, hilarious, I'm cut in half and I can still shake my feet. His eyelids drop. I need a strong finale. Something like something, you know? He looks like he's asleep. I know. Suddenly he opens his eyes. I got into a fight with some old gangbangers out on the street. They were mugging an old lady. I saw them chase the muggers away. The old lady insisted I have one last drink with her. The old booze and pity. That's why I smell like booze. He lifts his finger and draws a circle around his head. And there you have it. You hear that, man? You hear what a kick-ass screenwriter I'd make? My wife will give me the fucking Palme d'Or for my performance. He imitates the sound of screaming crowd. And Palme d'Or award goes to Carl Carui for lie invented with a super nice taxi driver. He lowers his voice a bit, turned into a TV anchor. This is Carl's 10th fib this year. But it was without a doubt the finest, near perfection. She'll eat it right up like child's play. He slaps his thigh. Say nothing. Begins with a moving opening scene, one that's already reached cult status. The main character's phone is stolen when he leaves it on the out table in the bistro. Ah, that kind of terrible mistake most Parisians usually never make. With no way to reach his wife, he normally would have gone straight home. Alas, he was yet unaware what an amazing encounter the evening would hold. He raised his 3 fingers. The kind of encounter you only have 3 times in a lifetime. Daniel! The passenger puts one very serious expression on. Yeah, you remember him. The old friend who became an entomologist. The passenger smirks and seems happy. Oh, how an evening can fly by when you're making up for lost time. When the main character notices the time, it's already very late. Too late. He hurries home, but on the way, he happens upon an old lady getting mugged. He's not a fighter, but he frightens off the hoodlums. He bursts out laughing. He switches back to his regular voice. You know, my friend, it's really not bad. I think she'll go for it. He bursts out laughing. Plus, this kind of stuff actually always happens to me. He taps on your shoulder. You've almost reached the destination. The smoke smaller passenger's faces annoys you. You park in front of his place. Say nothing. You pull up in his wagon. I need some money. I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you let her open the door. Thanks for everything, man. Couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it alone. Thank you. You watch him stagger a bit as he walks away. The front entrance opens and closes. Drive away. Alright, good little amount there. Okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. Alright, who's close by? Who's close by? Any big suspect? There's a lot of people. I am not picking him up. Give me someone else. I am not picking him up. I guess the game's... I need money. Let's go here. I haven't picked up this one yet. Let's go to this one. The words, I can sense them. They're calling me. The next person immediately raises her hand. Drive. I don't care where, I just need you to drive. Start driving. You turn the key to the ignition. There, good. Keep going this way. Her deep, full voice makes you slightly uncomfortable. With closed eyes, she seems like she's in a place far from the back seat of your taxi. When she starts speaking, there's an odd whistle in her voice, like she has a hole in one of her teeth. Slow down. Frail or fragile? Bit surprised, look back at her in the mirror. Answer me, frail or fragile? I'm not sure. Think about it. Just say the first one that comes to your mind. Frail or fragile? Fragile. Huh. Odd. I would have thought that you... After all, frailty applies more to humans than to objects. The whistle in her voice crackles for a second. Both words actually have the same root. A smile spreads across her face. 2 words, 2 units. A life went on. The words mixed once again. She pauses. You okay? She doesn't hear your question because she starts to scream. Go down this street and stop. You speed up in a quiet street. The cold weather has driven away all the passerby. There, yes, good. I've got it. She cries out with joy and it resonates in the cab. I've got it. Look, the words are right there. They're wandering past us like sheep, like... She explodes with laughter. So nothing. Now, I must write. Close her eyes, her fingers stroke imaginary upholstery. The frail are forced into battle. Together come the children, a son and a daughter, standing tall to salute. They will cry, oh yes, they will cry. The eaglets fly behind. The frail will say, Pastor freezes. When she opens her eyes again, she stares at you. What happens when you sleep? She waits for you to answer. I dream. She tilts her head to the side just a bit. No, that's a lie and you know it. What happens when you drive? Make a living. Exactly. You give your time to others. She laughs strangely, almost a snicker, as her eyelids droop. And the son will say, Frail father, I want you to come back to life. And the daughter will say, Frail father, I want you to come back a winner. The whistle in her voice grates on your ears. The father responds, You must choose, as the eaglet lands upon his shoulder. Together they fly off. And thus all began. Fragile, frail, 2 paths that can't be fooled. The son and daughter will grow up, though not in the same pace. When, early one morning, 20 years later, they wake up to the sound of a bugle. The sound will be beaten, churned, and clubbed. until he wakes from a 1,000-year dream, a dream without sails, in which the daughter and son fish Alakanide. May they learn to live again without their father, frail and fragile. Frail is fragile. She catches her breath. 11 years. I've been writing this poem for 11 years. Good job. You get the impression she didn't even hear you. 11 years I've been trying to finish the text. It's filled with so much. It's infused with my entire life. Its lungs are swollen with my tears. Her breathing is quite irregular. And it was all waiting right here in this street, right in front of me. She giggles. Thank you. She sighs and places a few bills in the front of you, far more than the fare. Stop here and you pull the cab over. Keep everything. I have nothing more. She gets out of the taxi without a peep. It seems to you that it's only an impression, but well, she gets smaller and smaller with each step. Darkness swallows her, and you sit there, a bit shaken by her poem. Through the money, something falls to your feet. You grab onto a small, shiny white seashell with your fingers. You look at it for a second without saying a word. 11 years. And then it makes its way into your brain. You take a minute. Drive off. Alright. That's nice. Alright, so let me zoom back out here. Right. The old man. I'm coming for you. I am coming for you. I am coming for you, old man. We have some business to take care of. As usual. Okay. You recognize the next passenger getting into the cab. A cop. A detective. Your suspect. His tired look about him, and not just because it's early. His voice drags. Usual place. Go to the hospital. You start driving. Same expression, same clothes. Things never change. He looks grumpy, in a bad mood. He's holding a cigarette between his fingers and has almost broken it several times. Tough morning? He shrugs. More than usual. His tone makes it clear that there's no room for discussion. You let it drop. A bit further, construction workers are bustling about, tearing down storefront. Oh, say, are you finally taking that down? What was it for? When I first came to Paris, it was a thrift store. You could buy pants there for just a few francs. But for years, it's been a sex shop. One of the first in Paris, actually. I think they filmed some famous movie there. He sighs. It was all before the internet. Now online, yeah, they're probably going to put it in a cell phone shop. Or one that sells electronic cigarettes. Go figure. Pauses. Passenger turns around. He watches the building grow smaller as the taxi drives away. I'm surprised it stayed open for so long. I mean, since the hostage situation, it must have attracted some shady fellas. The kind who like to jerk off where two cops got taken out. Other cases? Yes, though at the time I was only a measly lieutenant, just snot-nosed kid. We got calls from the neighbors on the sex shop. They couldn't stand the noise anymore. Day and night, people going in and out. Most of the time, they were quiet, but there were always noisy ones. The booths weren't soundproofed. After a few months, the woman upstairs knew all the films. There were some high social society types there. The shop had a few films for gay people, for single women. Cream of the crop. Attention is caught by something outside for a second. Okay, so anyway, one evening, one of the neighbors takes his daddy's rifle from its wall mount and goes outside. Fires a warning shot that breaks part of the front window, then goes in. The guy had bloodshot eyes and was foaming at the mouth. He demanded the owner close the shop immediately, said he wanted to sleep to cleanse the earth of these perverts. The fellow was basically having a psychotic episode in front of about 15 clients. We got there about 10 p.m. Evacuated the street, got the response team ready. And back then, it wasn't like it is today. You know, the hell with helmets and tiny cameras, those little flying whatchamacallits, drones. The passenger snaps his fingers. Yeah, that's it, drones. Yeah, so back then they didn't have any of that stuff. The plan was just to go in and take pot shots at everyone. My chief, great guy, taught me everything I know. Well, almost. Took the megaphone and started talking to the hostage taker. Told me he needed to let the civilians go and someone would get hurt, and no one wanted any of that people to get hurt. Hostage taker said, okay, let me see. I'll free the women first. We went back in, we got ready, put on a bulletproof vest, checked out weapons. It looked like we were going to get ready for an old-style duel. Well, nobody knew what was there where there were two fellow cops inside already in the crowd. They were not interested in being released. Since the hostage situation started, they'd been trying to find a way to escape out the back. Snickers. They were ashamed to be there. They said to themselves that they could approach the hostage taker and tell him they'd infiltrated the building before the police officer officially got there. But the guy with the rifle was not a newbie. He was a Boy Scout, and his father had taught him how to fight. A dry laugh. His father fought the Nazis. He wanted to fight the hippies. Classic. He could see the two cops were a bit worked up, were speaking in hushed voices, so he pulls one of them aside and decides to let him go. The policeman flounders. He asked the hostage taker to take one of the 4 women in the shop instead of him, but he won't have it. So they were outside when, all of a sudden, out came Michael, deputy of the chief of police. His shirt was untucked, and he had this stupid look on his face. Then, the guy behind me started to laugh. The hostage taker fired. First time in my life I saw a skull from the inside. Brains and blood stew over the sidewalk. I tossed my guns. Hey, I'd only been on the force for 2 years, you understand? Sniffles. I would have wanted to change places with that guy behind me who was laughing. We never knew who it was. There were a lot of rumors. Everyone says it was me. He's silent for a moment. It wasn't. I didn't know Michael for starters. Not well, anyway. He shrugged and fell silent again. He let a few seconds go by. What about the other cop? The other cop? The one who was still in the sex shop. He attacked the hostage taken in the shop. Another rifle shot, and our brother spent 6 weeks in intensive care before he croaked. Now, the hostage taker, he must be out of jail by now. Little psycho, high on all sorts of pills, not a pretty sight. They redid the sex shop after, and since then, anyone in that squad who came in has always got a little discount. You pull the car up in front of the hospital and your passenger pays. It's the least they could do, when you think about it. I've never been there myself. Actually, I avoided ever going down that street, so I wouldn't have to think about that day again. It's almost like a bouquet of poppies, big red and black flowers. Pauses. It's odd to think that poppies consider what they mean. You know, each flower is a symbol, has meaning, and I believe the poppy symbolizes peacefulness. I'd have to check. My ex-wife left me a book about it. Don't know why I held on to it. His eyes wander. Yep. Sits up. Alright, I'm off. He gets out of the car, walks toward the hospital. His figure blurs into the darkness. For a second, I think he might have stopped. He disappears into the hospital. Drive off. Man, you tip like shit. I got one more in me, I think. Why do you want me to pick up Herb so bad? I'm not doing it. Who am I not picking up? I don't think I'll pick up this one. I don't know if I'll get there in time. But I'm not picking up Herb. You're not a suspect, Herb. I need monies. I'm not going home. Okay. Ooh, good lord. Next passenger climbs into the clemency door rather violently. Gives you her address. You start driving. Give her a quick once-over. No suitcase, no purse, no pile of papers or tickets, no wedding band, and a look of defeat on her face. She dropped someone off to the airport, not her kid, her husband, not a colleague or a client. Who? Should I or shouldn't I? Raise your head. Excuse me? Passenger jumps. Did I say that out loud? Face turns crimson. I'm sorry, She shakes her head, apologizes profusely, and stumbles over her words. Everything alright? Yeah, it's just, shakes her head slowly. It's a bit hard to understand what's going on with me right now. You think she needs to talk about it. More like she must talk about it. Her warm voice is deep and has a stunning accent. West Indies? I'm in shock. No, not the West Indies. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. On the contrary, I'm in love. Silence. She's from an island, but you can't tell which one. Out of the blue, just like that. Whereas I'm usually... shakes her head. I'm usually the one people fall in love with. Demanding, complicated. Always have someone on my mind. It's never the right person. This time it was reciprocal. She flashes an incredible smile. She's American, lives in Seattle. She's a journalist like me. She was here covering the terrorist trial. Our eyes kept crossing. We spent 4 days side by side. Just enough time for the trial to come to an end, for us to wrap up spending an evening wandering along the banks of the Seine. Her eyes get a little bit misty. It was really cold out. We didn't even notice. Her smile suddenly vanishes. And I just dropped her off at the airport. There you have it. She pauses. It was short, intense. We'll probably never see each other again. Maybe it's better this way. Vacation romance, exactly. In the dead of winter. But that's the idea. Just a fling. She shifts her body slightly and seems to forget you. She's lost in thought. You can see her lips move, tremble. More and more she doesn't say out loud. Suddenly, you hear her whisper. Go with her. An odd look takes over her face. Yes, take a plane, follow her, find her, but... She giggles. What would I tell at work? I can't just... She doesn't bother finishing her sentence. Even she doesn't believe that the lie she's telling. Yes, I have time to make up. Calm time. It's the least my editor can do. She pauses. Yes. I mean, why not? She's got a layover in London. Has to spend most of the day there. I go to the ticket counter and she stops. No, tickets will cost me a fortune. She sighs. No, I already looked. The next flight is at 6. Her eyes wander. A fortune. None of that was really intended for your ears, but you feel like answering all the same. What if she's the love of your life? She almost jumps. The love of my life? She leans towards you, wrinkles her forehead, and smiles a genuine smile. So what kind of cab driver are you? I think we often make bad choices for the wrong reasons. Bad choices for the wrong reasons. That's deep. Let me think about that. Gaze wanders outside to the road. Parisian, suburbia, the yellowish street lamps. Do I really need this money? It's money I've saved up to go visit my family. But when I'm there, I feel out of place. Like I'm suffocating. All the more reason then, right? All the more reason indeed. All the more reason. She smiles. Seattle. She looks straight in the eye. I have to go, don't I? You nod. Very well. Then turn around, please. As soon as you can, you turn around and start heading back to the airport. The road is empty, wide open. The last planes haven't left. The first ones won't take off for a few more hours. Passengers watch the road go by. I feel good. For the first time in months, like a weight has been lifted. I'm glad. Her grin gives color to her words. You say that like it's obvious, like it's a natural state. A lot of people are scared. They're in pain. They're suffering. She stares at you, a little smile on her lips. And you, how are you? Her question throws you off guard, she can tell. Something is holding you back. Pastner is a journalist, maybe she can help you. Some information. Pastner looks at you intently before looking away. She senses you might have something to say. The airport road stretches out in front of you. Headlights and street lamps sting your eyes. You pull up to the drop-off zone of Charleston International Airport. She leans over to you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Don't know if I made the right choice yet, but I made a choice. A smile that makes time slow down. Smile is a big, somewhat forced and nervous smile. She pays to get out of the cab. You wave at her a bit nonchalantly. She does the same. You watch her as she disappears into the terminal. And that is probably bedtime for old... Probably gonna make me go to bed. I just keep working? Nope, straight to bed. The devil. That's the only thing I learned? Yeah, that met Milo. I've got 80 cents now. You wipe your face. You start feeling sleepy. Your neighbor flushes the toilet. Or your eye. See the pipe shake. Take your shoes off before getting to work. So we're still really not... Not really getting a lot of documents here now. In the night here. Phone rings. Impulsively take a step back. It's the moment of truth. Pick up. Hello? Hi. Ice cold. So, she's alongside. There's no background noise. She must not be in the station. Where are you? For a second you think she's going to tell you, but then somewhere, none of your business. Light clicking noise, the sound of a teacup on a coaster moving. Listening, what have you got for me? She clears her throat, her voice sounds louder, more confident. Wait a while, the subjects are all lined up, all the evidence, a whole mess of your ideas. Your stomach is in a knot. I don't have to remind you, you cannot get this wrong. I have a meeting in 2 hours with the attorney and the chief of police. Even the Minister of Interior will be in the corner of the room somewhere. Obviously, I'm thrilled. Oh, but I certainly don't want to put too much pressure on you. I almost hear her the smirk she should be wearing. Lay a receiver down on the table. Now you have to decide. I really think it's saline. Pick up the phone back and explain your choice to Lieutenant Bussett. The evidence, her sources, she listens without saying a word. Stop talking and catch your breath. Okay. I'll buy it. Seems like a solid choice. I can fish around a bit to vet your information. Pauses. You can almost hear her nodding. Call you tonight. Try to get some sleep. She pauses. No way she's going to hang up on such a positive note. No way she's probably going to. It might be your last night of freedom. She snickers and hangs it up. You put the phone down. Might as well be standing in the ice-cold emptiness of the outer space. Decide to go to bed. Sleep. Best way to kill time. Heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. So I just keep playing. So for bed, the evidence of the day running through your head. Strays bastard, blah, 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 blah. Do I just keep playing to find out if I was correct? open an eye. 5 years, matters of hours. You can get up quickly. Minutes later, you're outside the studio. Night 7. Oh, you're gonna make me quit at night 7. Nope. You barely got downstairs when you catch a sight busted. Lean up against the door of your cab, eyes wide open, forehead creased. Get in. You obey. It's too early to react. She settles in the back seat, flashes a smile. Good news, you're right, or at least the DA thinks your evidence is sufficient. No emotion in her voice, she gives you the facts, nothing more. We're going to bring Fragonard in tonight. She nods, her expression clouds over. I have trouble. She freezes. Fragonard is a mentor, mine, half the squad's. You can't understand. He's an institution. She sobs, clearing her throat. I need your help one last time. Later on tonight, we're going to get Fragonard to leave home and find a way to get him in your taxi. She pulls some kind of pen out of her pocket that she puts in a little cubby just above the car stereo. This is a bug. Need a confession? I feel like it, if you think you can manage. I've seen you and heard you enough to know that you have a trick. Give to getting people to talk. He's someone I could trust to get close to Fragonard without making him suspicious. He's a cop. He knows how we work. No one's ever sent a taxi driver to make an arrest. He won't put up a fight. I hope he'll open up to you. That he'll confess before things fall apart. Not too far from the hospital where he goes to his treatments, there's an alleyway under construction. There won't be any civilians, just us and him. She sighs. 2 teens walks by the cab. The intense smell of weed fills the cab. Buzzard doesn't budge. I know you can do it. If you stick to the plan, nothing can go wrong. If there's a problem, stick to the plan, there won't be any problems. She lays her hand on the door handle. Pick up the suspect. Drive to the meeting point, and you're free. Easy as pie. Get out of the cab, slam the doors, and walk away quickly. Shit. You hit the dashboard, intense pain spreads through your hand. You grab the keys, ignition, and turn. The motor comes on. Your night is about to begin. Your last night. And we're gonna stop there. We're gonna stop right there. Can I immediately go after him? No, I'm not picking up Harv. And I can't pick him up. He's usually over here. So we're gonna stop there for tonight. So we're here. And I went with the older guy because of the wrinkled hands. I feel like he has the most compelling evidence. So, yeah. I think that's all we're going to go with tonight and pick up another episode later. Thank you guys very much for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next one.